Good evening and welcome to the 2020 GABBY Awards. This year has been a challenging one. We've been fighting an invisible enemy and uniting to ensure the health and well-being of all Georgians. The path has been long and difficult, but through it all, broadcasters have worked hard to ensure that all Georgians have access to accurate information. Every week, 95% of Georgians tune in to their local radio and TV stations to hear the latest news and entertainment. And when disaster strikes, they turn to you. So I want to thank each of you, the broadcasters of Georgia, for a job well done. I'm excited to be part of your celebration tonight as we take a look back at some of the best work from 2019. Keep up the good work and enjoy the show.
Welcome to the 2020 GABBY Awards, an evening of honors recognizing the best of Georgia's radio and television broadcasters. The 2020 GABBY Awards are presented by Nielsen and Zabo Associates, with support from the Georgia Army National Guard, Georgia Power, and Georgia Farm Bureau, along with these fine sponsors. From the Georgia Public Broadcasting Studios in Atlanta, please welcome this evening's host, broadcasting legend and GABBY Hall of Fame inductee, Monica Pearson.
Good evening. On behalf of the Georgia Association of Broadcasters, I would like to welcome you to the 2020 Virtual GABBY Awards. For nearly 60 years, Georgia's broadcasters have come together to celebrate the best of radio and television content, talent, and community engagement. It's no surprise that in the middle of a pandemic, we've had to adapt to the times, as so many of you have done yourself. And while this isn't your typical awards banquet, there was never a question that our tradition of honoring the best in Georgia broadcasting would continue. Whether a public health crisis, severe weather, or nationwide protests, broadcasters have the amazing responsibility of delivering news and information that literally saves lives. The winning entries tonight are examples of the important content that communities across the state rely on each and every day. Thank you for what you do. Now, before we get started, I would like to pass the baton to Velvet Perry, Vice President and General Manager of Perry Broadcasting in Augusta, and she's also the current chair of the Georgia Association of Broadcasters. Velvet.
Thank you, Monica. And thank you for joining us this evening for the 2020 Virtual GABBY Awards. As the current chair of the Georgia Association of Broadcasters, it has been my pleasure to work so closely with GAB's Bob Houghton, his staff, and the amazing group of broadcasters who make up our board of directors. Radio and television stations across the state of Georgia came together amid unprecedented challenges in order to participate in this year's awards process, culminating in 360 entries that highlight amazing talent, commitment to our state, and passion for this amazing industry. Before we get started, I'd like to personally thank everyone who submitted entries, our hard-working group of judges who were provided by the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and Jordan Walton from the Massachusetts Broadcasters Association, who operates our entry platform. Beyond the GABBYs, I thank you for your continued support of the GAB. Those of you who run our public education partnership spots help ensure that Georgia's broadcasters have a voice under the Gold Dome in Atlanta and in our nation's capital. To share more about how the GAB is working for you and a stronger broadcasting industry, allow me to introduce Bob Houghton, President of the Georgia Association of Broadcasters.
Thank you, Velvet, and welcome everyone to what is always one of my favorite events of the year. The GABBYs, whether in person or virtual, is a true member service that the GAB has offered for 58 years. Over those numerous decades, a lot has changed in our business. Film and tape gave way to digital recording and online reporting. Cable and the internet required our stations to adapt to the 24-hour news cycle. The advent of multimedia journalism made us all more flexible and creative. In spite of so much change, two things remained constant: Georgia's broadcasters are integral parts of the communities they serve, and the GAB has been here the entire time fighting for your rights. As Velvet mentioned, our judges reviewed 360 entries from this year's GABBYs. 67 will be honored tonight with Merit or GABBY awards. While judging had to take place online this year, the glowing comments about your work still spoke to the amazing talent that make up Georgia's broadcasting industry. This year, we celebrate the 100th anniversary of radio. Through good times and bad times, radio has been there with us through it all. Together, we have witnessed history, whether it was halfway across the world or just down the street. Radio has been a trusted friend and source of entertainment and information. We now have more ways to interact and stay connected with each other, and radio has adapted. The future of radio, and really the entire broadcasting industry, is incredibly bright as members of our community look to us as a trusted voice in these uncertain times. Finally, I'd like to take a moment to invite you to next year's GABCon and GABBY Awards, taking place the weekend of October 22nd, 2021. We plan on returning to the Grand Hyatt in Buckhead, and already we are putting together a great slate of educational and entertainment programs that will rival any GABCon we have produced to date. I hope to see you there. I want to thank the staff of the GAB for putting on tonight's show. Special thanks to Ben, Mackenzie, Garrett, and Allison. Now, please welcome this year's presenting sponsors, David Verska from Nielsen and Robin Szabo of Szabo & Associates.
I'm David Verska with Nielsen. We're proud to continue our relationship with the GAB and the broadcasters of Georgia. From over-the-air content to all things digital, the great work you'll see highlighted this evening serves as an example of why we're excited about the future of our industry. Congratulations and enjoy the show.
Hi, I'm Robin Szabo of Szabo Associates. Congratulations to all the GABBY Award recipients who, through their service to Georgia communities, are being recognized tonight. Your association, the first in the country, just celebrated its 86th anniversary, and in a few short months, we will be celebrating our 50th year of serving Georgia broadcasters. We've collected more money for media companies like yours than any other collection firm, and every time we collect for you, your association benefits. We value your continued endorsement, the opportunities you have provided, and the long-lasting relationships. In our marketing, we use the tagline, "More is better than less," and it speaks to what truly makes us different. We take a unique approach to collecting debt, which is why we are able to collect more. Our experienced staff combines an understanding of the media industry, business, and diplomacy, producing collections while preserving the account relationships you built. We stand with you, helping you collect more. After all, it's your money. We think you should recover more of it.
This year's GABBYs focus on content produced and broadcast during the 2019 calendar year. The presenters for these categories come from all over the state of Georgia. Thank you to our TV members for opening your studios to your radio counterparts to make this production a success. The GABBYs awarded tonight are for those entries that stood above all others in their categories, and the Merit Awards recognize those entries that the judges felt deserved special recognition. The GAB will be shipping all of the GABBYs and Merits to the winning stations following this broadcast. Now, if you would like to order duplicates, please visit gab.org. Make sure to follow along with us tonight on social media. Show us how you are watching from home or in your newsrooms. Post a celebration selfie and tag at GA Broadcasters and use the hashtag #VirtualGabbies. We'll be kicking off this evening with the content-specific categories like Best Newscast and Best Team Weather Coverage, followed by the categories recognizing individuals like Best Anchor and Reporter. Finally, we'll round out the show with several big awards. These include Best Community Service Project, the Georgia Army National Guard Minutemen Awards, Georgian of the Year, and our Stations of the Year. So now let's kick things off, focusing on some of the best content produced by Georgia broadcasters.
I'm Shorty Mag from WFXE Foxy 105 in Columbus. here to present the winners for Best News Story. The GABBY Award for Best News Story Small Market Radio goes to Asa Jones from WLJA Ellijay.
From the WLJA News Service, I'm Asa Jones. Tensions have risen in Pickens County over the last couple of days after the Pickens County School Board held a meeting discussing whether transgender students should be allowed to use bathrooms that align with their chosen gender identity. But what started as political disagreement has evolved into harassment, bullying, and now even death threats of school board members and students. The death threats even led to a juvenile being charged with disorderly conduct after making threats on social media. The Pickens County School District's initial decision came after an 11th U.S.
The Merit Award for Best News Story Small Market TV goes to Jackson Kurtz from WJCL-TV Savannah.
Dale, it was a scary scene for all the witnesses and people involved in this crash. You can still see some of the markings here right behind me and some of the glass nearby from where this accident took place, right across the street from Warren Square, where police tonight are still searching for answers, and 7 people are left in the hospital.
I've never seen anything like this before.
I'd feel awful. I feel terrible.
This was the scene in historic downtown Savannah following an accident involving historic Savannah carriage tours and one of their horse-drawn carriages.
All of a sudden, I heard a loud scream.
The GABBY Award for Best News Story Small Market TV goes to Sierra Cummings from WRDW-TV Augusta.
If the scorched pieces of the once popular downtown building are any indication, business in this county seems to be charred with grief.
It's going downhill all the time. Everything's leaving here.
And just like the store that burned down nearly 7 months ago, an old framework is collapsing. But a movement is rising.
The people are tired of paying these high taxes. They're tired of having no grocery store in the community. They're tired of having no business in the area. They're tired of being the highest unemployment in the state. All these things are finally resonating.
Bamberg County, population 14,275, and people aren't coming.
The GABBY Award for Best News Story Large Market Radio goes to Stephanie Stokes from WABE Atlanta.
When the wine gave out, the mother of Jesus said to him,
a group of about a dozen people are reading scripture from the New Testament.
What concern is that to you and to me?
They're sitting bundled up in coats and hats in the middle of downtown at Woodruff Park. The Church of the Common Ground always meets outdoors because many of its parishioners are homeless. One woman wonders how the Super Bowl might affect their services.
They're shutting down the streets here. How are we supposed to have church on Super Bowl Sunday?
Pastor Monica Mannering isn't totally sure. The Super Bowl has created a lot of uncertainty for the people the church serves. Tony Hines knows the rumors about those staying under bridges.
The GABBY Award for Best News Story Large Market TV goes to Adam Murphy and Aaron Cocker of WGCL-TV Atlanta.
Hey, I'm Jim.
Hi, I'm Brendan.
Brendan, nice to meet you.
The holiday season brings people together.
I'm your next door neighbor.
Neighbors meeting neighbors for the most unlikely occasion.
It's great that stuff like this can bring us together.
They gathered on Archwood Drive in Atlanta.
I know you're very nervous about wanting to sing, but you can stand with us and mouth it.
Is this old Christmas tree?
Yeah, let's stand by our Christmas tree, though.
Everyone here to celebrate the first annual Caroling for a Cause.
Oh, Archwood tree, how lovely are thy branches. Asphalt expands in summer.
Congratulations to all of this year's winners.
Hello, I'm Giancarlo Cifuentes, News Director for Univision Atlanta, here to present the winners for Best Feature Story. The Merit Award for Best Feature Story Small Market TV goes to Jeff Cox from WGXA-TV Macon.
It sits atop a tower in Twiggs County, scanning the sky, looking for that first sign of wicked weather.
Talk about your confidence level going forward with our radar in Middle Georgia.
So I have complete confidence in our team that maintains it. And like any mechanical system, we will respond if it breaks as quickly as we can.
Highly publicized outages have kept technicians busy. According to National Weather Service archives, in the first 134 days of 2019, Middle Georgia's radar was out of service on 23 different occasions, a cumulative downtime of 31 days and 11 minutes. Using the archive data, we calculated
The GABBY Award for Best Feature Story Small Market TV goes to Erica Carr, Thais Ackerman, Taylor Drake, and Ben Jones from WMAZ-TV Macon.
Music runs deep in Macon. In the mid-1960s, Phil and Alan Walden began making plans with Otis Redding to start their own record company called Redwall. But Redding died in a plane crash before the dream was realized, and the brothers got some help from Frank Finner to start Capricorn Records in 1969. Now, 50 years later, the studio at Capricorn is reopening next week. Former member of the Allman Brothers Band and current piano man for the Rolling Stones, Chuck Leavell, was one of the original musicians to record at Capricorn. He took me inside the historic studio.
The GABBY Award for Best Feature Story Large Market TV goes to Adam Murphy and Eric Carton from WGCL-TV Atlanta.
When you go to North Georgia, there are certain things you expect to see. This and this. Of course, these guys. Even a 100-year-old schoolhouse isn't out of place.
I hope you enjoy the show.
But what happens inside this historic building defies expectation.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the famous Landmark Arena.
And on Saturday nights in Habersham County, the syllabus includes a lesson in hard knocks.
What a suplex.
Congratulations to all of this year's winners.
I'm Blake Eason from WRBL in Columbus, here to present the winners for Best Feature Story. The GABBY Award for Best Feature Story Small Market Radio goes to Joel Brook from WLBB Carrollton.
I can't even start.
Saturday, after 75 years, U.S. Army Private First Class Hewlett A. Thompson was finally laid to rest in Carroll County. The services took place at Martin and Hightower Funeral Home in Carrollton.
Hewlett Thompson laid down his life for his friends. No man can carry his love for his friends further than this. And he was willing to die for freedom. He was willing to die so that we and future generations can be free and safe.
Carroll County veteran advocate and historian Don.
The Merit Award for Best Feature Story Large Market Radio goes to Scott Kibler from Georgia News Network Atlanta.
In Gainesville, the Westboro people and the counter-demonstrators were pretty vocal with cowbells and chanting.
I believe God can't hate people of any kind.
As the Westboro group hopes their message is heard.
We're here to warn all these people to repent of their sins and to seek Christ.
The message would be to repent from your sins or you will spend eternity in hell.
This man thinks Gainesville's message should be heard as well.
It might get to one of them and they'll see that God really is love and not hating all these things that they claim that he hates.
The counter-demonstrators outnumbered the Westboro members easily 5-1. In Gainesville, Scott Kimbler, GNN News.
The GABBY Award for Best Feature Story Large Market Radio goes to Emma Hurt from WABE Atlanta.
I'm going to take you around and let you peek in to the command center.
Nita Bells is the founder of In Our Backyard, a nonprofit that fights human trafficking. She takes me to a room where a dozen people quietly type at laptops. They're volunteers from around the country she brings to each Super Bowl host city.
They are all working from early morning until late at night, chasing down information to recover kiddos and give information to law enforcement.
They're tracking things like online ads and missing children postings. Belle's team has been in Atlanta for about a week, and it's her 10th.
Congratulations to all this year's winners.
I'm Joy Crosby from the Georgia Peanut Commission, here to present the winners for Best Investigative Reporting Series. The Merit Award for Investigative Reporting Series Small Market TV goes to Wright Gasway from WTOC-TV Savannah.
From proving his son's innocence to now finding out why and how it happened. He says he already knew his son couldn't have committed the crime.
He's not a morning person. He wouldn't get up in the morning to do anything he didn't have to, let alone rob somebody.
James says his son was called into work at 9:45 that morning from his Georgetown apartment. The robbery happened on East Huntington Lane on December 18th around 10 a.m. The next day, police sent out this release with a red truck possibly tied to the suspect. According to the search warrant, on December 20th, an anonymous caller.
The GABBY Award for Best Investigative Reporting Series Small Market TV goes to Meredith Anderson, Richard Rogers, and Drew Thomas from WRDW-TV Augusta.
What happened in Vietnam has never been black and white. The war is painted in so many shades of gray and a lot of muddy water. Then there are the colors, the lush green jungles, the red bloodshed, and a chemical known as Agent Orange.
It's the deadliest poison known to man.
We first introduced you to James Cripps almost a decade ago when he spoke to us from Tennessee. He had become the very first person to prove to the government he was exposed to Agent Orange, not in Vietnam, but in the U.S., at Fort Gordon.
At the time, I thought I was 7,000 miles.
The GABBY Award for Best Investigative Reporting Series Large Market TV goes to Brad Stone from WSB-TV Atlanta.
Channel 2 investigates the fentanyl trail. Deadly fentanyl is the most severe drug crisis America has ever faced. 50 to 100 times more powerful than heroin. This tiny amount, laced in heroin or pills, enough to kill.
If somebody takes 2 of those pills thinking they're popping 2 oxy, they're dead. They're dead.
Thousands of Americans have died. Devastating families.
He had no idea that what he was taking was fentanyl.
He had absolutely no idea.
Tonight, we take you on the fentanyl trail from China, where the chemicals are made, to Mexico, where cartel labs manufacture the drugs, to the smuggling routes on the Mexican border. Tom Regan.
Congratulations to all of this year's winners.
I'm Scott Kimbler from the Georgia News Network, here to present the winners of Best Newscast. The Merit Award for Best Newscast Small Market Radio goes to Zach Fowler from WVOP Vidalia.
Hello everybody, this is Newsbreak. The Toombs County Board of Commissioners is expected to name Courtroom A in the Toombs County Courthouse for the late Judge Marvin Hartley of Lyons. Judge Hartley is the only Superior Court judge from Toombs County to serve on the bench in the Middle Judicial Circuit. At Tuesday's commissioners' meeting, retired Vidalia attorney Reed Threkel made a presentation recommending Judge Hartley for the honor with endorsements from the Middle Judicial Circuit Bar Association, the Toombs County Bar Association, and the cities of Lyons and Vidalia.
The GABBY Award for Best Newscast Small Market Radio goes to Colin Worthington from WBTR, WCKS, WWGA, WKNG, and WLBB Carrollton.
A Bowden man who fired 2 gunshots into the lower midsection of another man inside of a home on White Rock Road Tuesday will most likely not face charges. Investigators at this point believe the shooting to be self-defense in a home invasion. The shooting victim is being treated at Grady Memorial Hospital in Atlanta. According to Carroll County Sheriff's Office Captain Jeff Richards, the investigation into the shooting thus far has shown that James Rogers went to the home of Jeffrey Newton, where he demanded to see his children. Newton is the grandfather who was keeping the children while his daughter was away. Newton said that Rogers appeared.
The GABBY Award for Best Newscast Small Market TV goes to the News 12 team from WRDW-TV Augusta.
At 6 o'clock.
It took the government decades to admit Agent Orange exposure could be deadly, but veterans may have also passed the toxin down to their kids and grandkids. Our I-Team continues digging deeper into a possible lethal legacy.
And a 13-year-old serving life in prison for murder. Tonight we have his confession tape and a look at what led up to such a violent crime for a kid so young.
But we begin with our top story this evening. 4 days of celebrations of opera great and Augusta's own Jesse Norman are now underway.
And today was the very first of 2 days of a public viewing for Norman, who died.
The GABBY Award for Best Newscast Large Market Radio goes to the staff of WSB Radio Atlanta.
Atlanta's news starts now.
Hey, it's 5 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Chris Chandler, live from the WSB 24-hour News Center. New at 5, it's team coverage of a subject that just can't be hammered home enough. The desperate situation facing South Georgia farmers and astonishment at what's not being done about it.
Governor Brian Kemp and Agriculture Commissioner Gary Black say they are in disbelief Congress can't reach an agreement on federal disaster aid, not only for Georgia farmers, but many other states impacted by natural disasters.
It's really hard to fathom why there's not bipartisan support for this when you look at the states that would benefit and need this disaster relief fund.
Kemp says a simple acknowledgement of an agreement.
Congratulations to all of this year's winners.
Hello everybody, I'm Brad Means from WJBF in Augusta, here to present the winners for Best Program Non-News or Sports. The Merit Award for Best Program Non-News or Sports Small Market Radio goes to Alan Sanders from WBHF Cartersville.
Hey everybody, welcome back. 9:52 the time, which means 8 minutes left of Waking Up with Alan. We are here doing the Vulcan Mind Meld segment. This allows BK on the air to be in studios. We hang out, we kind of merge the shows, and makes that transition a little bit more, a little less jarring, going from, rigid news talk to nostalgic geekiness talk. So we kind of just evolve.
It is jarring.
It's
just less jarring.
It's just less jarring.
And you do it without,
we do that.
You do it without putting your hands on my forehead, and I appreciate that.
It's the difference between going over a cliff in a car and going on a roller coaster.
The GABBY Award for Best Program Non-News or Sports Small Market Radio goes to Tony McIntosh from WRGA Rome.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of Around and About. This is Tony McIntosh, and today's Around and About is a little different. I want to share a story of inspiration that I think will help put things in perspective for you. Back in 2018, a young athlete by the name of Justice Edwards, a defensive back for the Berry College Vikings, was injured in a game against Center College. One of those injuries where you don't recover from at all, a lot of times. It put him in a wheelchair for over a year, and he is still recuperating from that.
The Merit Award for Best Program Non-News or Sports Large Market Radio goes to Wes Carroll from WDAK Columbus.
Yes, back for the 2019 edition of the Dragon Con pregame show, where our goal is to get you ready for Labor Day weekend in downtown Atlanta with a little help from some friends. A couple of stars from Shazam, Zachary Levi and Cooper Andrews will join us. Voice actor Kimberly Brooks and one of the guys from MST3K, Bill Corbett, will all join us. They'll talk about their careers and why you should come see them and the other guests at the Walk of Fame. But first, we begin the show by chatting with my dear friend and Director of Media Engagement for Dragon Con. We share a last name, no known relatives, Dan Carroll. Dan, for the uninitiated, what is...
The GABBY Award for Best Program Non-News or Sports Large Market Radio goes to Stephanie Stokes from WABE Atlanta.
This story starts in another state, Alabama. Montgomery. That's where the National Memorial for Peace and Justice is. It's dedicated to the victims of white supremacy in America, and in particular, the thousands of black people who were lynched. It's a striking, open-air pavilion with hundreds of suspended steel columns engraved with 4,000 names. It's important to note that a lynching isn't always a hanging. It's any killing where a mob takes the law into its own hands. The opening of the memorial and a nearby museum last year drew crowds.
Congratulations to all of this year's winners, and keep up the great work.
Hi, I'm Brittany Santiago from WTVM News Leader 9 in Columbus, here to present the winners for Best Program Non-News or Sports. The Merit Award for Best Program Non-News or Sports Small Market TV goes to Ray DeLesio from Farm Monitor TV, Macon.
Here's your source for agribusiness news and features from around the Southeast and across the country, focusing on one of the nation's top industries, agriculture. The Farm Monitor is produced by one of the largest general farm organizations, the Georgia Farm Bureau. Now here are your hosts, Ray DeLesio and Kenny Bergamy.
Well, hi there. So glad you could join us for a special edition of the Farm Monitor. And I say special because, of course, this month marks the 1-year anniversary of Hurricane Michael carving a path through Georgia.
The GABBY Award for Best Program Non-News or Sports Small Market TV goes to Whitney Argenbright, Mike Leach, and the staff from WAOB TV, Albany.
It did not begin through the instigation of any outside persons.
He wasn't ready to go to jail. He wasn't ready to have a movement. He was just coming down to make a speech.
I didn't want anybody else telling me, I got your freedom.
It was really critical there for a while. Baby, we talking about the Ku Klux Klan. She said, if you ever forget that under that sheet.
The GABBY Award for Best Program Non-News or Sports Large Market TV goes to Eddie Elguezabul from Univision Atlanta.
Gracias por dejarnos entrar en sus hogares. Esperamos que estén pasando unas felices fiestas. Primero, antes que nada, queremos desearles una feliz Navidad para usted y su familia. Les saluda Giancarlo Cifuentes.
Y Dacelis Martínez, bienvenidos a nuestro especial de Cena 34. Un placer para nosotros acompañarlos a conocer las historias de estas familias con las que tuvimos el placer de compartir.
Hoy queremos destacar el temple que tiene la comunidad hispana, que a pesar de los obstáculos que atraviesan, siempre son capaces de superarlos y seguir adelante.
Congratulations to all of this year's winners.
I'm Scott Higley from the Georgia Department of Transportation, here to present the winners for Best Team Weather Coverage. But before I do, I'd like to say a word of thanks to the local broadcast community here in Georgia. What you do each and every day is invaluable in assisting GDOT in getting the word out about important information every citizen and motorist needs to know. Our local relationships with the broadcast community are critical to our ability to effectively do our jobs. We thank you for what you do, particularly in helping spread our messages around driver and motorist safety. And watch for GDOT's new anti-littering campaign. We're calling it Keep It Clean, Georgia, and many of you will help us spread the word that we don't litter here. Now on to our awards. The GABBY Award for Best Team Weather Coverage, Small Market Radio, goes to Joe Willie Sousa from WRJY-FM, WSSI-FM, and WXMK-FM in Brunswick.
This is a post-Hurricane Dorian update from the Golden Isles Broadcasting Storm Center. I'm Joe Willie. With the evacuation order having been lifted this morning and folks returning home, things are getting back to normal here in the Golden Isles. A lot of businesses have already reopened today, and most everyone should be back to full speed tomorrow. The kids will be back in class tomorrow, but all sports events and extracurricular activities will not resume until Monday. That includes the 2 football games scheduled for tomorrow night. The Brunswick High-McIntosh game has been rescheduled to next Friday, September 13th. No word on whether or not the Glen Academy...
The Merit Award for Best Team Weather Coverage, Small Market TV, goes to the staff of WTVM-TV in Columbus.
Tornado. So let's track that up to the north and east one more time. Yeah, Lauren, go ahead.
The Weather Service is very concerned about this. Understandably, they're saying it is a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado, and they're about to issue a tornado emergency.
Okay. Thank you, Derek. And our Katie Cameron is also in Lee County, continuing our team coverage with an update on the search and recovery efforts. So, Katie, what can you tell us about what you've been hearing, what's happening there?
I'm here on Highway 51 in Beauregard, an area where the tornado ravaged and the most deaths occurred. Police have had the road blocked off all day except for search teams and work crews. And again, the death toll out of Lee County.
The GABBY Award for Best Team Weather Coverage, Small Market TV, goes to Bob Jeswald and Cody Nickel from WRBL-TV in Columbus.
We had some rotation. We still got a little bit of that wants to behave, and now it looks like everything's kind of linear and more forward momentum, but this could be broad, flattened out, right. And it's another way we describe it. We say it flattens out.
All right, now we have a tornado warning for Sumter County.
Okay, see, go figure. That's southern. Now, show them perspective because we got a lot of folks there. We'll show you a view
and
here.
And it is on that southern extent of the storm.
Right, and this doesn't include Americus. It's southeast of Americus, but it gets you a little worried. So this whole storm, if we were to track it.
Bob, do we have a quick second for a damage update from Chuck Martin?
Yeah, I'm going to keep this in a box, guys. We need to keep this track up here. We can give a quick damage report by, of course, which...
The The GABBY Award for Best Team Weather Coverage, Large Market TV, goes to Giancarlo Cifuentes from Univision Atlanta.
Florida, y se espera a partir del martes y el miércoles se aproxime lo suficiente hacia Georgia como para generar algunos cambios, en este caso lluvia y quizás buenos acumulados de lluvia. Vamos a hablar más sobre esta tormenta más adelante, ahora regreso con ustedes.
Gracias, Gastón. Y mientras tanto, la Cruz Roja se moviliza para prestar asistencia a las zonas que podrían resultar afectadas por Dorian. Rafael Olavarría está en vivo desde la sede de la Cruz Roja en Atlanta. Rafael, ¿cómo va la logística de esta organización?
Dacelis, a pesar de que hoy es en teoría un día feriado, se ve que esto está lleno de vehículos y ha sido un entrar y salir de personas todo el día. Y esto es motivado a que acá...
Congratulations to all of this year's winners.
I'm Michaela Thomas from WFXG in Augusta, here to present the winners for Best Station Produced Promo. The GABBY Award for Best Station Produced Promo Small Market Radio goes to Stacy Scott from WGCO Savannah.
Unlike a lot of other stations that do nationwide contests where your chances of winning are like getting into Harvard on a full scholarship while being stupid, Savannah's new Hot 98.3 is giving away local money to local listeners, and the odds are in your favor.
Thank you! I'm so excited.
The Hot 98.3 Secret Sound is your way to win thousands of free dollars. Listen 4 times each weekday, 10:05, 12:05, 3:05, and 5:05 for your chance to win. Guess the secret sound and win the jackpot. The jackpot increases by $100 for every...
The Merit Award for Best Station Produced Promo Small Market TV goes to Brian Correll and Michael Scott from WTVM TV Columbus.
5 years, WTVM has captured the stories for West Georgia and East Alabama, more than 6 decades after becoming the first television station. Thanks for continuing to make WTVM the area's most watched station. Whatever story West Georgia and East Alabama writes next, for everything news, WTVM will always be coverage you can count on, always.
The GABBY Award for Best Station Produced Promo Small Market TV goes to Jesse Horton and Ben Jones from WMAZ TV Macon.
Our viewers know that when the sleeves go up, it's heads up. It's time to get serious about severe weather. I thought it'd be a pretty good idea to kind of make it part of our procedures around here. Look, let's just start with a simple fold. Hey, sleeves are high. All right, but lose the tie.
Did he take everyone out of the newsroom?
Don't go in there.
Got it.
Where are you going? We're not done. No sleeves. Old move. But no, it's not rocket science.
It's not meteorology either.
It's going to take a few more training sessions.
The GABBY Award for Best Station Produced Promo Large Market Radio goes to David Johnson and Dan Reese from WRFC Athens.
The latest Georgia sports updates.
Jake Fromm is entering the NFL draft.
Check. On-demand ref podcasts. Check. Alerts for breaking news in sports. Check. Get it all on the free 960 The Ref app. Available on your smartphone or tablet in the App Store or Google Play. With the 960 The Ref app, you can stay connected and listen live from anywhere. Now you'll never miss out on the latest Georgia Bulldog sports updates and on-demand podcasts from your favorite ref hosts. Find it all on the free 960 The Ref mobile app.
The GABBY Award for Best Produced Promo Large Market TV goes to Breeden Keefe from WXIA TV, Atlanta.
911 still broken.
Parkland West. This was the most preventable tragedy ever.
4 years after our investigation first revealed stunning weaknesses in the nation's emergency response system.
Spelling in Douglas. What's the name of the school? In what city?
The system worked exactly as it was designed.
It's not being fixed. Parkland and Douglas.
And that's the problem.
We're at Stoneman Douglas High School, and I think there's a shooter. Hello?
Congratulations to all of this year's winners.
I'm Ray DeLessio from Georgia Farm Bureau, here to present the winners for Best Sports Program. The GABBY Award for Best Sports Program Small Market Radio goes to Bo Wilson, Caleb Hutchins, and Brian Perkle from WDUN Gainesville.
There's nothing like high school football in North Georgia.
Across the 20 to the 10. He dives for the end zone. Touchdown.
And no one gives you more of what you want than WDUN.
And he'll throw it right side. Caught 30, 25. He's gone. Touchdown.
Welcome to the Chop Block Playbook, featuring conversations with coaches and players. Brought to you by Chop Block Food and Spirits. Now, from Chop Block in downtown Gainesville, here are Bo Wilson and Caleb Hutchins.
Once again, welcome to Chop Block Food and Spirits here on the square in downtown Gainesville for show.
The GABBY Award for Best Sports Program Small Market TV goes to John Hart, Scott Elledge, and John Holden from WJBF-TV Augusta.
What an incredible Cinderella story. This unknown comes out of nowhere to lead the pack at Augusta. My dream begins in Augusta. Now it can come true here.
I never expected to be able to play there in a tournament, but I always dreamed about it.
The first Augusta National Women's Amateur.
Golf can get you a scholarship. It can get you to a lot of places in life.
The drive.
The Merit Award for Best Sports Program Large Market Radio goes to Tommy Palmer from Georgia News Network, Atlanta.
To the outside 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown.
He will go all the way, 90-yard touchdown return.
From the Foundry Broadcasting Studios in Statesboro, it's the Georgia High School Football Scoreboard Radio Show, presented by Georgia Farm Bureau Insurance.
Down to the 20, down to the 10, and he's going to burst in for the touchdown.
Option, here's a little pitch. In the corner, it's Stewart, and he goes in for the touchdown.
All across the state of Georgia, it's the Friday Night Lights football favorite, the Georgia High School Football Scoreboard Radio Show.
The GABBY Award for Best Sports Program Large Market Radio goes to Chris Shoup and Vicki Michaelis from WUGA Athens.
2-2. Shep hits this one deep out into left field. Blake is going back. He's at the wall. This ball is out of here or caught. It's a home run. Cam Shepard has done it. He's won it.
That's what it sounded like last week, courtesy of my good friend Jeff Dantzler of the Bulldog Sports Network, as a walk-off home run sent the Bulldogs into the winner's bracket of the SEC tournament. The Dogs would go on to place third in the SEC and now head to the NCAA tournament and hopefully the College World Series. Cam Shepard was the highlight of that particular moment, but another shot.
Congratulations to all of this year's winners.
I'm Jeff Cox from WGXA in Macon, here to present the winners for Best Mobile App. The GABBY Award for Best Mobile App Small Market Broadcaster goes to Andrew Plaskowski from WMAZ here in Macon. The GABBY Award for Best Mobile App Large Market Broadcaster goes to Chris Shoup and Jimmy Sanders from WUGA Athens. The GABBY Award for Best Online Breaking News Coverage Small Market Broadcaster goes to Andrew Plaskowski and the 13 WMAZ Digital Team from WMAZ here in Macon. The GABBY Award for Best Online Breaking News Coverage Large Market Broadcaster goes to Giancarlo Cifuentes from WUVG Atlanta. The GABBY Award for Best Online Produced Story Small Market Broadcaster goes to Jenna Kelly and Nikki Wilder from WJBF Augusta. The GABBY Award for Best Online Produced Story Large Market Broadcaster goes to Sean Powers, Chuck Reese, and Shane Mitchell from Georgia Public Broadcasting Atlanta.
Congratulations to our finalists this evening, and thank you to the presenters we've seen so far. Now on to our individual categories. Whether you're an anchor, the host of your own radio program, or a reporter in the field, I know firsthand the responsibilities that these roles hold for both your stations and your communities. The awards that follow recognize the best of these in Georgia. Let's take a look.
Hello, I'm Robert Heydrich from the Governor's Office of Highway Safety. On behalf of Director Alan Poole and Deputy Director James Sumner, I'd like to thank all the members of the GAB for what you do year-round to promote highway safety in our state. And now, the winners for Best Sports Play-by-Play. The Merit Award for Best Sports Play-by-Play Small Market Radio goes to Joel Williams from WCON Cornelia.
Brings it down, feeds Newkirk. Newkirk stops, lets somebody go over the top of her and connects. Now Piedmont has closed within 3. Washington in the game. Will dish off to Ackerman on the left side. Piedmont working to the left side of your dial. Washington in the hole. Stops with the screen. Picks it up. Oh, rattles it in and good. Nakaya Washington with 8 on the night. Trying to get within 5, maybe closer. Oh, he almost threw it away. Washington's going to save it, though. Turn around. Will it be there? Yes, she banks it off. Nakaya Washington picks up her 10th points of the night. Cousins, and they'll work it to Jada Brown, top of the key, and then they'll go to the right side.
The GABBY Award for Best Sports Play-by-Play Small Market Radio goes to Mitch Gray, Aaron Sones, Casey Bass, Seth Kane, Doyle Johnson, and Matt Skinner from WBTR, WCKS, WWGA, and WKNG Carrollton.
And now it is loose. I think the Trojans have it. Touchback. They do. It's a touchback. What a series of events. 5 wide. Holiday alone in the backfield. Drops the pass. Coming is Jimbo Brown, and he sacked it. That's a sack. Homer sack at the 29-yard line. Jimbo Brown came off the left edge, and he put MJ Holiday right on his tuchus.
First down and 10. Snap again. Fakes a handoff to Gabe Davis. It's going to be high on the quarterback keeper. He's crossed the 50-yard line. He's crossed the 40. He's crossed the 30.
The Merit Award for Best Sports Play-by-Play Large Market Radio goes to Steve Holman, Mike Conti, Miller Pope, and James Ferry from WZGC Atlanta.
Is Atlanta Hawks basketball.
Hawks down by 3 with 42.1 remaining. And now Vince to put it in play. He looks, he still looks, gets it out now. And DeAndre Hunter has it. DeAndre fires a foul line jumper, got it partially blocked. Taken away by Embiid. Embiid clears it now to Richardson. Down to 33 seconds left. The Hawks may have to think about fouling here as Richardson has it. I guess they're going to try to play defense one more time here. Richardson now gets run at. Richardson throws it over to Al Horford. It's down to 6. Al Horford out to Embiid. He fakes. Now he's going to shoot a 3.
The GABBY Award for Best Sports Play-by-Play Large Market Radio goes to Scott Miller from WDAK Columbus.
It's time for Columbus State University baseball on the flagship station of the CSU Sports Network, News Radio 540 WDAK. Now, let's go to the ballpark with the voice of the Cougars, Scott Miller.
There's a base hit left field. 1 run will score. The ball gets by the left fielder. 2 runs will score. Webb headed to third. They're going to send him to the plate. Here's the throw. He is safe. Fly ball. Center field. That's going to do it. Center fielder going back. Pittman's going to tag.
Congratulations to all of this year's winners.
Good evening. I'm Sanders Hickey from Golden Isles Broadcasting. Delighted to be here to honor the very best of Georgia broadcasting for this year's GABBY Awards. Before I do, I'd like to briefly recognize a very special anniversary. You see, just days from now, on November 2nd, commercial radio will celebrate its centennial. 100 years ago, KDKA Pittsburgh made America's very first commercial broadcast. That date was chosen because it was Election Day that year, and the power of radio was proven when people could actually hear the results of the Harding-Cox presidential race before they could read about it in the paper the next morning. And so it goes, as we approach another presidential election on the day after radio turns 100. The Georgia Association of Broadcasters, in association with the NAB, has taken great pride in this occasion by producing the centennial campaign known as Radio's 100th Anniversary, a celebration of radio in Georgia through the years. A 10-part series of 60-second announcements complemented by an excellent social media, digital, and video presentation which captures the benchmark moments in our state's history and the undeniable role of radio through the decades, and which is made available to all broadcasters statewide courtesy of the GAB. If you've not already done so, I'd like to encourage you to visit gab.org, view the video, and by all means, please download all the pieces of this campaign and air them as your inventory may allow. And now, on with the 2020 GABBY Awards. Here are the winners for Best Photojournalist and Best Reporter. The GABBY Award for Best Photojournalist, Small Market TV, goes to Kevin Roble from WRBL TV3 in Columbus.
We are gathered here this afternoon to remember and to celebrate the life of William Don Beamer. All of us, most of us knew him as WD.
He was blessed with the capacity to love his fellow man, unlike anyone I've ever known or met. WD showed his as a giving and kind soul, someone who never met a stranger.
The GABBY Award for Best Photojournalist, Large Market TV, goes to Matt Pearl from WXIA TV, 11 Alive, Atlanta.
My earth. You are the stewards of my earth.
Even though people may feel helpless, everything we do has an impact.
There's something about William Zhang people notice. Something besides his prowess at the piano. Something besides his instinct for Mozart. Something besides his 6 years of age. It's the look on his face when he sits at the keys.
The GABBY Award for Best Reporter, Small Market Radio, goes to Chester Proctor from WYUM Mount Vernon.
Hello, everyone. This is Newsbreak. Bikes for Kids is a nonprofit charity that runs out of Toombs County and was started by 5 local leaders several years ago. The volunteers of the organization reach out to teachers in elementary and middle schools in Vidalia and Toombs County, and they receive a list of kids in need. Local attorney Frank Smith is one of the leaders of Bikes for Kids.
This year, they've given us 498 names of kids who are in need. From that list, we've compiled a number of presents for them. What we're giving this year to most or all the kids are...
The GABBY Award for Best Reporter, Small Market TV goes to Jackson Kurtz from WJCL TV, Savannah.
The moment he started talking to you, the moment he started to say those things, like, how did it make you feel?
Horrible. I've never been in that situation before.
Rio Frio says she told the man that she was born a U.S. citizen, but the insults didn't stop, even after he saw her recording him.
He started saying, what have I done for this country? I told him that I was a U.S. citizen, and it was like what have you done for this country? What have your parents done for this country?
Eventually, the man was kicked out of the restaurant. He was later identified as Walter Browning.
The GABBY Award for Best Reporter, Large Market Radio, goes to Robin Walensky from WSB Radio Atlanta.
This is a ukulele.
Iraq War vet Alan Sweat learning to play an instrument as part of his recreational therapy here at the Share Military Initiative.
And it just relaxes me.
So what is this like for you, Greg, when you're boxing?
Tiring.
I'm Robin Walensky in the boxing ring with Greg, a Cobb County Parkinson's patient being helped big time by this new class here at the YMCA.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, too.
In the roar of the Twin Towers collapsing, staying alive, the only thing anyone was thinking about. 18 years later, retired New York City police officer Billy Kelly, who responded.
And the GABBY Award for Best Reporter, Large Market TV, goes to Brendan Keefe from WXIA TV, 11 Alive, Atlanta.
13-year-old son Alex was murdered during the dispatcher's confusion on that first transferred 911 call.
Had you even ever thought of 911 or any of these issues before?
No, I mean, nobody thinks about it. They think that if you dial 911, you're going to get the police and they're going to come help you. Nobody ever thinks that you're going to have to tell your story to one operator, then they're going to have to transfer you to a different operator. It's just ridiculous.
Because of the need to transfer that first 911 call to another dispatch center, the first law enforcement officers weren't notified for at least 69 seconds. By that time, Nicholas Cruz had shot all 20.
Congratulations to all of this year's winners.
I'm Robin Szabo from Szabo Associates, here to present the winners for Best Meteorologist and Best Sports Anchor. The GABBY Award for Best Meteorologist, Small Market TV, goes to Derek Kincaid from WTVM TV Columbus.
Winston and Julie Morrison, this home hit by an EF2 tornado, the same tornado that hit Eufaula, tracked across the river and tracked through Stewart County. I was going to walk you through the house here and show you what's going on. We're in the kitchen and dining room area now. The roof is gone. It's all open air through here, and you can see there's numerous things that have been blown around. They've also started the cleanup process as well around here. But we'll walk you back into the living room here. You can actually see behind me where the roof has caved in into a little bit of a V point right here. And this is not a room we ever suggest people to be in. We want people in a much smaller room.
The GABBY Award for Best Sports Anchor, Small Market TV, goes to John Barron from WALB TV Albany.
They can ignite that same spark that's going to lead them into the season. Well, I'm not the best goalkeeper in the world.
You're really, really bad.
But kids like Adeline are receiving knowledge from some of South Georgia's top-tier programs. Carla, like you said, ASU's athletic program is being hit by penalties from the NCAA due to ineligible athletes taking the field, court, and track. Now, this is just one of the many ways that South Georgia United hopes to inspire the next generation of soccer players. It goes way beyond the X's and O's. WALB's Paige Dowers in Ocilla right now. Paige, why is this year's matchup so special?
The GABBY Award for Best Sports Anchor, Large Market TV, goes to John Nelson from Georgia Public Broadcasting, Atlanta.
Let's see how we got to this particular moment in time. A lot of action going on here in the first 24 minutes, and a lot of it has to do with that guy right there, Gabriel Benyard, picking him up and putting him down. Only 2 minutes plus into the game. 2:22. Irwin's on the board. It was 7-0. Then sitting on the route was Jordan Payne. Picked off. Run. He made a house call. 14-0, and that was only 3 minutes later. But once again, Marion County still sticking with it. Trice McCannon shows that he's got one knocked off his feet, but ends up in the hands of Markevius Kelly. 23 yards, only the second TD that the first-string defense has given up all year. Made it 14.
Congratulations to all of this year's winners.
I'm Gabe Reynolds from Dick Broadcasting in Savannah, here to present the winners for Best News Anchor and Best On-Air Personality. The GABBY Award for Best News Anchor Small Market TV goes to Meredith Anderson from WRDW-TV, Augusta.
Off again, then back on again. I'm Meredith Anderson.
I'm Richard Rogers. The weather's been up and down all day long, which is why I'm here in the studio, but Meredith is out there to bring us the sights and sounds from the golf course.
And Richard, it was back and forth for patrons on this second day of practice rounds. The threat of storm suspended play for 2.5 hours this morning, but by 12:45, the gates reopened and a parade of happy patrons made it back in.
Yeah, rain in the forecast meant getting an early start this morning to beat any storms that might pop up. Meredith, tonight's also a big night on and off the course.
That's right. It's the Champions Day.
The GABBY Award for Best News Anchor Large Market TV goes to Giancarlo Cifuentes from Univision Atlanta.
Vamos a otra información. En CAB, las autoridades ofrecieron detalles de un accidente vial que dejó al conductor de un autobús escolar hospitalizado. La unidad de transporte se estrelló este jueves contra un árbol en la intersección de Manning Road y Whitlock Avenue, esto muy cerca de la escuela secundaria Marietta. Los investigadores declararon que el chofer de un auto golpeó al autobús escolar, el cual luego se estrelló. Solo 2 estudiantes estaban a bordo del transporte. Ambos fueron reportados con heridas leves. La investigación investigación continúa. Y este jueves un juez negó la fianza de la mujer presuntamente involucrada en el asesinato de su compañera de cuarto, la estudiante de la Universidad Clark Atlanta, Alexis Crawford. El expediente del caso...
The GABBY Award for Best On-Air Personality Small Market Radio goes to Stephen Phillips from WJUL Young Harris.
If you missed the morning dish lately, then you didn't hear.
We're supposed to have Olivia Mason was supposed to be here today, and she called in. She actually wrote a book about you crazy nudists. Honestly, that's the name.
Is that the name of the book?
Yep.
I'm guessing she's against nudity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She said you can see their nuts.
Their names are Stephen, Candace, and Packy, serving up the morning dish weekdays at 8 on 95.1 and 97.7 FM.
The Morning Dish! He's the hardest working man in show business. His band's music takes you into the midnight hours. And when you wake up, his voice is...
The GABBY Award for Best On-Air Personality Large Market Radio goes to Mike Cannon from WSTR Atlanta.
Cannon with a K.
Turn it up! Thank you so much for listening to Star 94.1. It's Cannon with a K, back in Atlanta, just a little older and wiser. Okay, one of those things is actually true.
With the biggest celebrity guests.
What's up, man? It's Shawn Mendes, and I'd just like to welcome you to Atlanta at Star 94.1. You're going to love it, man.
Thank you, brother. It's good to be back. I used to work at 95.5 The Beat, and for years, I've been craving a Vortex burger. Finally, I can go get one.
In a show that's unmistakably ATL.
Star 94.1, so you're a big Posty fan.
Yeah, I have a huge problem. I'm, in love with Post Malone.
I'm pretty sure he only dates girls that also have face tats.
I would do it.
You got to get something he'll really like, though, like a giant...
Congratulations to all of this year's winners.
Again, congratulations to all of the finalists this evening. Your work certainly speaks for itself, but that work doesn't get to your viewers or listeners without that one vital part of the station, the engineer. Every year, we honor a handful of technical wizards who keep us all on the air each and every day. The Angelo Diddy Frank McLemore Award celebrates a handful of those unsung heroes of broadcasting. Here to tell you more is the GAB's own engineer, John George.
Thank you, Monica. Tonight I have the privilege of presenting an award to the often unsung hero of the broadcast industry, our engineers. The Angelo Diddy Frank McLemore Engineering Award recognizes exceptional broadcast engineers who have had a lasting impact on the radio and television stations in our state of Georgia. But beyond their own stations, which they've kept on the air, they must also demonstrate professionalism among their colleagues and a willingness to help and support other engineers in the industry. The three men we honor tonight not only exceed this criteria, but their combined experience totals to over 100 years of broadcast engineering excellence. Tonight's first engineer is Phil Baker. Phil graduated from Coosa High School in 1969 and came into radio as an announcer for WGCA in Calhoun. The same year, shortly after Phil landed a job as radio announcer for WGCA in his hometown, he then graduated from Coosa Valley Tech to become an independent contractor. In 2000, Phil expanded his business and established Baker Broadcast Services. Phil is now semi-retired, but he keeps some local clients so he can keep up his skills and stay busy. Our next engineer is Jim Gatner. Jim moved to Atlanta in 1975, where he started his career as chief engineer of WLTA-FM. In 1979, Jim left WLTA to become the chief engineer of WSB-FM. Then in March of 1980, Jim made the move to chief engineer of WPCH, where he has been for 40 years throughout countless changes in ownership, call letters, and formats. Jim also is currently a regional engineer with iHeartMedia in Atlanta, where he works with stations all across the South. Our third and final engineer is Charlie Harrell. Charlie is currently an engineer for iHeartMedia in Atlanta, a position he's held for nearly a quarter of a century. Charlie began his career announcing at his station in the hometown of Columbus, Georgia, at 17 years old. He quickly found himself intrigued by the more technical side of things. He is a master electrician as well, displaying knowledge that improves projects that otherwise would rely on third-party services. If you're building a studio, repairing a transmitter building, a new site, Charlie is someone you would want on your side. Congratulations to our 3 Diddy McLemore recipients. Georgia's broadcasting industry wouldn't be where it is today without each of you. To find out more about tonight's recipients, visit gab.org.
Thank you, John, and congratulations to our engineers. Now please join me in welcoming Lieutenant Colonel Patrick McDougall from the Georgia Army National Guard to present this year's Minutemen Awards.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Patrick McDougall. I'm a Lieutenant Colonel in the Georgia Army National Guard and the commander of our Recruiting and Retention Battalion. It's a privilege to be included in the association's event, and we're grateful for the opportunity to recognize a few members who have supported us over the past year. My recruiters are committed to finding the right people to fill the ranks of our all-volunteer force. Recruiting for the National Guard is no easy task, as we seek a special type of person. The National Guard is unique in that we are the only military service with a dual mission to both our state and to our nation when called. Our soldiers respond when disaster strikes. This year, our organization has responded to assist citizens of Georgia with COVID-19 testing and support, as well as support to law enforcement during periods of civil unrest. We also sent units on missions around the globe in support of Department of Defense training and operational missions. In the search for those who will join our ranks, we will succeed with the help of our partners in this audience who spread our message of service and opportunity. Now I'm proud to announce the winning stations for the Georgia Army National Guard Minutemen Awards. Congratulations to the winners, and thank you for supporting the Georgia Army National Guard.
Thank you, Colonel McDougall, both for your service and your continued support of Georgia's broadcasters. Before we get to our last 2 station categories, I have the pleasure of announcing this year's Georgian of the Year, the late civil rights legend, Congressman John Lewis. Throughout my career, I had the pleasure of getting to know the congressman, both professionally and personally. His contributions to Georgia and to our nation as a whole are too numerous to mention tonight. Needless to say, he spent his life fighting for those who didn't have a voice. It is for this and many other reasons that the GAB Board of Directors is pleased to honor the congressman as this year's Georgian of the Year. To accept this award on behalf of the Lewis family, please welcome the congressman's longtime friend and colleague, Andrew Iden.
Thank you, Monica. And thank you to Bob Houghton and the Georgia Association of Broadcasters for honoring the legacy of Congressman John Lewis. I'll never forget how Congressman Lewis would recount the bravery and courage of reporters and members of the press who often put their bodies on the line to bring America the story of the civil rights movement as it unfolded. Whether it was the coverage of the lunch counter sit-ins, the Freedom Rides, or Bloody Sunday, Congressman Lewis often said that without the media, the civil rights movement would have been like a bird without wings. To this day, your stations continue to do the hard, necessary work of telling the important stories of those fighting for justice against seemingly impossible odds. These are Congressman Lewis's people. No one I ever met loved an underdog more, because Congressman Lewis was always an underdog himself. Born the son of sharecroppers, he attended segregated Alabama schools, and through hard work, courage, and a sense of righteousness that often put his life on the line at the forefront of America's struggle for equality, he became one of America's greatest heroes. In my own time with the congressman, I saw this same passion for the underdog when Nate Powell and I worked with him to create March, our graphic novel series about the civil rights movement. He spoke up for it. He championed it. He believed in it with his whole being, even when others did not. To some, comics seemed childish, simplistic, even undignified. But not to Congressman Lewis. He became so taken with the medium and the culture of comics that he even cosplayed as his younger self. But that's what Good Trouble was all about. Creativity, ingenuity, a sense that you were so right, so justified in your actions, that you lost all sense of fear. And as he would often say, only then are you truly free. John Lewis was a role model to so many of us, not simply because of his courage in the face of violence, but because of the near daily moments when he generated kindness, compassion, and love for every person, young or old, famous or unknown, rich or poor. So on behalf of all of those who worked with Congressman Lewis, those who knew him and those who loved him, keep sharing the stories of the underdog and keep reporting on those getting into good trouble. Thank you for honoring Congressman John Lewis as the 2020 Georgian of the Year.
Now please welcome back current GAB Chair Velvet Perry and GAB President Bob Houghton as they present the awards for Best Community Service Project and Stations of the Year.
Thanks again, Monica. Here are the winners for Best Community Service Project. The GABBY Award for Best Community Service Project Small Market Broadcaster goes to WJBF-TV in Augusta.
This past October, News Channel 6, along with our Giving Your Best partners, teamed up for Halloween with a Heart. For some children with special needs, going trick-or-treating door to door can be overwhelming. For others, it's nearly impossible. Halloween with a Heart removes that barrier and makes it possible for kids to have a good time in a safe environment.
I really love it because you get to come out and it's the day that you can dress up and kind of let go and have fun and do stuff with the kids, and it just is something I enjoy.
Why do you and the rest of the heroes, why do you guys do this? Why do you guys come here and do this for these kids?
Because it's very special. It's a safe environment they can come in, and we love the children, and it's wonderful to be out here, and it's wonderful to just spread joy.
The GABBY Award for Best Community Service Project Large Market Broadcaster goes to WXIA-TV in Atlanta.
Atlanta Mission is working to build a new shelter for women and children, and they need your help. Donate today and be entered for a chance.
Along with Jeff Foxworthy, he came to the station. There's a great podcast of Jeff explaining all about it on the Fish Facebook page. You know, how can you not help others love people so well?
Yes, I know. That's such a beautiful way to put it. We were looking at pictures as you were speaking about of the shelter. It's absolutely incredible. And to think that we're putting a home and a bed in the lives of these families, just like us, that are out on the streets, it's so important. And you know more about that. You've been covering it for the station.
I am everything homeless, homelessness. I mean, I am knee deep in this over the past few months. So this can't.
This year, Atlanta Mission saw more than 4,000 women and children seeking shelter, but there are less than 1,000 beds available per night. Atlanta Mission, #1 priority is to end homelessness in Atlanta, and they can't do it alone. They're working to build a new facility to increase the number of lives we can impact.
Let's back up and talk about the Ethel Street Shelter and why it is so important and so desperately needed.
Yeah, what we need desperately in Atlanta, first of all, we in Atlanta today have about 900 beds for women and kids. we will see about 4,000 women and kids in a year, and everybody who comes to our door who doesn't get a bed, 50% never come back. So we saw a critical need to add beds in Atlanta. So the Ethel Street shelter that we're building will add 100 beds. It'll be a low barrier shelter, which will allow us to serve more. It also will be a place for our children to be cared for. We'll have Mercy Care there doing health. And also we'll do vocational training, but it'll be the first of its kind in Atlanta, a low barrier shelter, 100 beds for women and kids.
Fantastic.
Now here's Bob to announce the stations of the year.
Thank you, Velvet. We've seen a lot of great entries this evening, and it's my pleasure to announce the 4 stations that have gone above and beyond in terms of service to their listeners and viewers. It's about more than just the music you play or the news you report. It's about the big picture and the role you play as a vital part of your community. The GABBY for Large Market Radio Station of the Year goes to WSB Radio in Atlanta.
Atlanta's news starts now. Good morning. The time is 7 o'clock, and you made it to Friday, February 1st. I'm Scott Slade. This is Atlanta's morning news. WSB's top local story. After years of preparation, Super Bowl weekend finally arrives in Atlanta. Rams and Patriots fans are flocking to the city, but it seems one team will have a bigger advantage in the stands on Sunday. Our in-depth team coverage of Super Bowl 53 begins with WSB's Jay Black reporting both teams are fine-tuning their game plans.
I'm a little more hyped up now.
Despite playing in his 9th Super Bowl, Tom Brady is trying to pretend the Patriots have been underdogs for months.
We're counted out at a lot of points this year.
The GABBY for Large Market TV Station of the Year goes to Univision Atlanta.
Informar a nuestra comunidad. Los defensores de estas minorías. Con rigor.
La primera vez que este tipo de crímenes se cometen.
Responsabilidad.
Llamadas telefónicas.
Y veracidad.
Las nuevas cámaras no costarán nada al contribuyente.
Somos Noticias 34 Atlanta.
The GABBY for Small Market Radio Station of the Year goes to WJBB of Winder.
Hi, it's Christopher Rude with the Rude Awakening. You know, I've been doing Atlanta morning radio since, well, let me think back. The Braves were still playing in Fulton County Stadium. And I don't think there was an internet. And now I'm back doing what I really love. A rock and roll morning radio show right here in Northeast Georgia with Barrows and Jackson's 107.1 FM. Weekday mornings from 6 to 9, I'll be cranking the tunes, getting you caught up on what happened last night. WJBB 107.1.
And finally, the GABBY for Small Market TV Station of the Year goes to WALB TV in Albany.
1954, Dwight D. Eisenhower was president. Elvis Presley started his music career. And WALB TV in Albany, Georgia went on the air. A lot has happened since then, and WALB was there, reporting the stories that matter to Southwest Georgia. 2019 was WALB TV's 65th anniversary, and to celebrate, WALB took a look back at what it was like serving this special, close-knit community. WALB produced a show highlighting our 65 years serving Southwest.
Thank you, Velvet and Bob, and our entire slate of presenters for this year's GABBY Awards. And congratulations to everyone recognized this evening. Your work serves as a testament to the Georgia broadcasting industry and a reminder that our responsibility to our listeners and viewers is more important than ever. As we close this evening's awards, just a quick reminder to mark your calendar for the 2021 GABBY Awards and the return of our annual convention set for the weekend of October 22nd. I look forward to seeing you there. And until then, thanks for joining us and stay safe.
The 2020 GABBY Awards has been a production of the Georgia Association of Broadcasters and has been brought to you by Nielsen and Szabo Associates, with support from the Georgia Army National Guard, Georgia Power, and Georgia Farm Bureau, along with these fine sponsors: